We live in a world that tries to dominate the body. More workouts, more restrictions, more rules, push harder, eat less, fight cravings, count calories, cut carbs, spend endless hours sweating in the gym. Yet months later, many people end up exactly where they began, confused, tired, and discouraged. Not because they failed, but because the method itself is rooted in conflict. A fight against biology, a fight against hunger, a fight against life itself. But in some parts of the world, people move to a different rhythm, a softer one, a way of living that doesn't depend on punishment or extreme discipline, yet produces results that seem almost unbelievable to outsiders. Japan is a powerful example. It has one of the lowest obesity rates in the world, not due to special genetics, extreme diets, or an obsession with exercise. Gym culture is modest. Sugary foods exist. Rice and noodles are everyday staples. So what's really happening? How do millions of people stay naturally lean without constant self-control or rigid dieting? The answer isn't found in dieting at all. It lies in lifestyle design, small, thoughtful choices in how people eat, move, and relate to their bodies. These 9 Japanese habits aren't tricks or shortcuts. They represent a philosophy. A quiet, sustainable way of living that supports the body instead of battling it. Today, we'll explore these habits not as strict rules, but as perspectives, ways of seeing food, movement, and self-care differently. As you listen, notice which one speaks to you. That habit may be the doorway to an entirely new relationship with your body and your life. It begins with taste. In Japan, children are introduced early to simple, natural flavors, lightly seasoned rice, fresh vegetables, fish, tofu, miso, seaweed. Their taste develops around foods that come from nature rather than highly processed formulas designed to overstimulate. This shapes not only what they enjoy, but how they experience satisfaction. Taste is not fixed, it is trained. Cravings are not fate, they are learned. What you eat consistently becomes what your body begins to desire. Just as taste can be shaped toward excess, it can also be guided back to balance and subtlety. Relearning natural flavor is an act of reconnection. Even replacing one processed food with something fresh allows the senses to recalibrate. Over time, simplicity becomes satisfying again. Eating returns to what it was meant to be, honest, nourishing, and grounding. This naturally leads to the next habit. In Japan, healthy choices are often the easiest ones. Convenience stores don't revolve around oversized portions and ultra-processed snacks. Instead, they offer rice bowls, grilled fish, miso soup, salads, tofu dishes. Nourishing food is the default, not the exception. This is the power of environment. When your surroundings support your well-being, you don't rely on willpower. You rely on structure. Motivation may fade, but environment constantly shapes behavior. Change what's available in your kitchen, what sits on your counter, what you reach for when hungry, and behavior shifts without inner struggle. When the environment supports balance, portion control becomes natural, which brings us to the next practice. There is a Japanese principle that encourages stopping when you are about 80% full, not stuffed, not heavy, simply satisfied. This stands in contrast to oversized meals, endless refills, and eating long after hunger has passed. This is not deprivation. It is wisdom. It is listening. Fullness is not the same as fulfillment. Comfort often comes not from continuing, but from knowing when to stop. Over time, this practice restores the body's ability to recognize satiety, something dulled by years of excess. Awareness deepens, and that awareness reshapes the palate itself. Sugar in Japan is consumed in smaller, more intentional amounts. Desserts are modest. Sweet drinks are portioned. Sweetness is treated as an accent, not the main event. Sugar isn't forbidden, it's respected. When sweetness becomes subtle, the senses regain clarity. Taste buds adapt. Foods once considered bland begin to taste naturally sweet. This shift affects not only physical health, but emotional balance. When sugar is no longer used as stimulation or escape, space opens for genuine nourishment. This balance is reinforced through rhythm. Meals are typically eaten at consistent times: morning, midday, early evening. This predictability stabilizes digestion, hormones, appetite, and even mood. When the body knows nourishment is coming, it doesn't panic. Cravings soften. Late-night eating fades. Structure creates calm. Just as rituals restore order to the mind, regular meal timing restores trust in the body. And from that trust emerges a gentle, natural form of movement. In Japan, movement is woven into daily life. Walking to transit, climbing stairs, cycling, standing. These small actions accumulate into meaningful activity without the emotional burden of formal workouts. There is no guilt for skipping the gym because the body has already moved. Movement becomes a way of living, not a task to complete. It feels intuitive, sustainable, and connected to presence, which becomes essential in the next habit. Eating is done slowly. Smaller bites, pauses, attention. Meals are not rushed, they are experienced. When eating slows down, the body has time to recognize satisfaction. Overeating becomes unnecessary. Slow eating transforms meals into moments of mindfulness. It dissolves urgency and anxiety. It turns food into a conversation rather than a transaction. This naturally leads to a deeper respect for meals themselves. Eating is rarely combined with distractions. Meals are not eaten while driving, walking, or scrolling. Food is given full attention. This changes the emotional quality of eating. The ordinary becomes meaningful. Gratitude replaces haste. When meals are respected, the eater becomes more attuned to the body and less vulnerable to mindless indulgence. This reverence prepares the ground for the final habit. There is mindfulness woven into eating, a pause before beginning, awareness of flavors and textures, appreciation for nourishment. This isn't formal ritual, it's presence. Mindfulness connects all the habits together. It turns eating into awareness rather than impulse. Through this presence, balance happens naturally. Food stops being an enemy, a reward, or an emotional escape. It becomes a teacher. These habits are not weight loss tricks. They are invitations to a different way of living, a life where food supports rather than sabotages, where movement flows naturally, where presence matters more than willpower. Change doesn't require force. It requires listening, simplicity, a return to the body's original intelligence, the wisdom that already knows how to regulate hunger, energy, and satisfaction. If one of these habits has already taken root in your mind, let it be your beginning. Not transformation through pressure, but change through awareness. Because the simplest habits, practiced with intention, have the power to reshape not only the body, but the quality of your entire life. Which one will you begin with? That answer may be the start of a quieter, more sustainable path to well-being.